Papa killed his daughter for being born a girl. The rancher took her brothers to safety. Sheriff Collins steps out of his patrol car and sees the boy first. 8 years old, maybe 9, sitting cross-legged beside something that used to be his sister. Noah Brennan's lips move in whispers, the same word over and over. Sophia, Sophia, Sophia. The blood pools dark on the wooden porch, seeping between the boards. Collins has seen plenty of death, but this stops him cold. Not because of what happened. Because of how quiet everything is. She wouldn't stop crying, Frank Brennan says from the doorway. The shotgun hangs loose in his grip, barrel still smoking. Told her to hush up. Told her twice. Collins nods like this makes sense. Like fathers shoot daughters every Tuesday. Frank? Sheriff. Boy seems upset. He'll get over it. Frank spits tobacco juice off the side of the porch. Boys always do. Noah looks up at Collins with eyes that have seen too much. She was hungry. That's all. Just hungry. Hush now, Frank snaps. Men are talking. Collins crouches beside Noah, careful not to step in the blood. Son, why don't you go inside? Can't leave her. Noah's hand rests on Sophia's arm. She gets scared when she's alone. Frank laughs, short and bitter. Ain't getting scared no more. Frank. Collins stands, brushing dust from his knees. What exactly happened here? Couldn't raise no weak girls in this house. Frank's voice carries across the empty yard, like he's preaching to a congregation. The Bible says spare the rod, spoil the child. Sometimes the rod ain't enough. Collins writes nothing in his notepad. Asks no follow-up questions. Doesn't call for backup or an ambulance or the coroner. Just stands there like Frank Brennan makes perfect sense. You want me to move the body? Frank asks. I'll handle it. Collins looks down at Noah again. Boy needs to come with me. Answer some questions. He ain't going nowhere. Frank pumps the shotgun. Got 2 more sons who need learning about what happens to weakness in this family. Collins tips his hat. Of course. Your house, your rules. He walks back to his car, leaving Noah with the blood and the body and the father who thinks daughters are disposable. Noah grabs his brother's hands and runs. Behind them, Frank Brennan's voice cuts through the night air like a knife. Boys, you get back here right now. The cornfield swallows them whole. Stalks whip against their faces as they stumble forward. Jimmy crying, little Ben trying to keep up on his short legs. Noah pulls them deeper into the maze of green. Noah, I can't. Ben trips, scraping his knees on the hard dirt. Get up. We keep moving. Frank's voice gets closer. You think you can hide from me? This is my land. They burst out of the corn and see the fence. Maggie Crow's ranch spreads out before them like salvation. Noah pushes his brothers under the bottom rail, then follows. They collapse at the gate, all 3 of them gasping and bleeding. Maggie appears out of nowhere, lantern in her weathered hand. She's older than dirt but moves like water. Takes one look at the boys and knows everything. Is he coming after you? Yes, ma'am? Noah wipes blood from his lip. How long have you been running? Hour, maybe. Maggie sets the lantern down and opens the gate wide. Come on, then. We got nowhere else to go, Jimmy whispers. You're here now. That's what matters. She leads them toward the house, her boots crunching on gravel. Behind them, Frank's voice echoes across the field, fainter now, but still hunting. Mom. Noah stops walking. You don't even know what we've done. Maggie turns, her eyes hard as flint. Child, I know exactly what you didn't do. Same thing my daughter didn't do 20 years ago. What happened to her? Same thing that happened to your sister. Maggie's voice doesn't break, but something in it dies a little. Come inside. We'll get you cleaned up. What if he comes here? Let him come. Maggie picks up her lantern and walks toward the house. Some monsters need killing. Maggie dips a cloth in warm water and cleans the cuts on Noah's face. The kitchen smells like antiseptic and coffee. Ben sits at the table, bandaged and quiet. Jimmy won't stop shaking. You're safe here, Maggie says, dabbing at a scrape on Noah's forehead. For how long? Before she can answer, headlights sweep across the window. A car door slams. Heavy boots on the porch steps. Maggie Crow. Sheriff Collins doesn't knock. Just walks in like he owns the place. Need to talk. Sheriff. Maggie doesn't look up from Noah's wounds. Boys are having some medical attention. Their daddy's worried sick. Wants them home. I bet he does. Collins steps closer, hand resting on his gun belt. This ain't your business, Maggie. 3 bleeding children showed up at my gate. That makes it my business. They belong with their father, like Sophia belonged with hers. Maggie finally looks at Collins, her eyes cold as winter. How'd that work out? Frank Brennan's got legal rights to his sons. Frank Brennan's got blood on his hands. Collins shifts his weight, uncomfortable. You can't keep them here? Watch me. Maggie, be reasonable. Man's got a right to his own children. Man's got a right to kill his daughter too, apparently. Maggie stands, blocking Collins from the boys. Seeing as how nobody stopped him, that's different. How? Collins has no answer for that. Just stands there, authority crumbling in the face of simple truth. You need to hand them over, he tries again. No, I'll come back with a warrant. You do that. Maggie crosses her arms. Bring the judge too. Let him explain to these boys why their father has the right to kill them. Maggie, get off my land, Collins. The sheriff looks at the boys, then back at Maggie. Something passes between them, an understanding that this isn't over. Not by a long shot. I'll be back, Collins says. I'll be here. He leaves, and the kitchen falls quiet except for the sound of Jimmy's breathing, finally starting to slow. Maggie returns to cleaning wounds, but her hands shake just a little now. Noah helps Maggie feed the horses 3 days later. His hands shake when he pours the oats, but he doesn't complain. Ben and Jimmy play in the yard, their laughter carried on the wind. You hear that? Noah stops, head tilted. Your brothers are playing. No, something else. Noah sets down the bucket. Sophia's laughing. Maggie freezes. She knows that sound. The phantom laughter that follows the dead. She's not here, child, but I hear her. Every night. In the walls. Noah's voice drops to a whisper. She asks why Papa was so angry. Maggie's chest tightens. 20 years of carrying her own ghost, and she recognizes the signs. What do you tell her? That I don't know. That I'm sorry. Noah looks around the barn, searching for shadows. There, you see her? Maggie looks where he points. Sees nothing but hay bales and dust motes dancing in sunlight. But she remembers seeing her own daughter, Anna, in every corner for years after. She's scared, Miss Maggie. Keeps asking when she can come home. What's her favorite thing? Sophia's favorite thing. Sunflowers. She loved how they followed the sun. Maggie nods, understanding. Anna loved butterflies. Used to chase them for hours. Anna, my daughter, died when she was 7. Noah's eyes widen. How? Same way as Sophia. Different man, same reason. Maggie picks up the bucket Noah dropped. Sometimes the dead stick around to remind us what we're fighting for. Does Anna still visit you? Every day, Maggie pours oats into the next stall. Keeps me honest. Keeps me angry. Is that why you saved us? Anna wouldn't let me do anything else. Noah nods, like this makes perfect sense. Because in a world where fathers kill daughters, ghosts demanding justice seem reasonable. Sophia wants me to be brave. Then you'd better listen to her. The first letter arrives on a Tuesday. Maggie tears it open at the kitchen table while the boys eat breakfast. What's it say? Noah asks. Maggie's face hardens as she reads. Your father wants you back. We ain't going, I know. She folds the letter and walks to the fireplace. Says here he's got legal rights, biblical authority. The paper catches fire, curling black at the edges. Says God gave him dominion over his children. The second letter comes on Thursday. Same handwriting, same threats. This time Frank mentions lawyers and courts and men who understand the natural order of things. He's getting desperate, Maggie says, feeding it to the flames. Good, but the ash from the burning letters seems to stick to everything. Settles on the windowsills, clings to the curtains. Coats the boy's hair with grey dust no amount of washing can remove. The third letter arrives with Sheriff Collins himself. Maggie, you need to read this one. I'll burn it like the others. Town council's involved now. Judge Morrison, even Reverend Hayes. Let me guess. They all think Frank Brennan's a fine father. They think he deserves his sons back. Maggie laughs, bitter and sharp. Course they do. Dead daughters don't vote, but living men do. Collins shifts uncomfortably. There's talk of forcing the issue. What kind of talk? Legal action. Maybe more? More. Frank's got friends, Maggie. Influential friends. She opens the letter, reads it slowly. Her face goes white, then red with rage. What's it say? Noah appears in the doorway. Nothing you need to worry about, but Noah can read the fear in her eyes. Frank isn't just threatening the boys anymore. He's threatening her, the ranch, everything she's built. He can't make us go back, Jimmy says from behind his brother. No, Maggie says, crumpling the letter. He can't. She throws it in the fire, but this time the flames seem smaller. The ash is heavier, like the weight of the whole town pressing down on them, choosing the father who kills over the woman who saves. Collins tips his hat. You got 48 hours, Maggie. Then I come back with papers. He leaves, and the house fills with the smell of burning threats and dying hope. 3 black cars roll up the dirt road like a funeral procession. Maggie watches from her porch, rifle across her lap. The boys disappeared into the root cellar an hour ago when they spotted the dust clouds. Governor Wesley steps out of the lead car, straightening his tie. 4 armed men follow, hands resting on their holsters. Legal papers flutter in the wind. Miss Crow. Governor, I believe you have something that belongs to Frank Brennan. I got 3 boys who belong to themselves. Maggie doesn't stand, doesn't move the rifle. Nothing more. Wesley climbs the porch steps slowly. The state has a legal obligation to return minor children to their rightful guardian. Rightful guardian shot his daughter in the head. That's been investigated. Determined to be a tragic accident. Maggie laughs, cold and sharp. Accident? That's what we're calling murder now? Miss Crow, I have a court order. And I got a rifle. She shifts the weapon slightly, not quite pointing it at him, but close enough. Funny how that works. One of Wesley's men steps forward. Ma'am, you're interfering with official state business. Official business is protecting child killers now. Wesley holds up a hand, stopping his man. This doesn't have to be difficult, Miss Crow. Already is difficult. Has been since Frank Brennan decided daughters ain't worth keeping alive. Where are the boys? Safe. I need to see them. No, you don't. Wesley signals his men. They spread out, surrounding the porch. Miss Crow, I'm trying to be reasonable here. Reasonable would have been arresting Frank Brennan for murder. The law is clear on this matter. Which law? The one that says fathers can kill children, or the one that says governors can help them cover it up? Wesley's face hardens. You're harboring fugitives. I'm protecting innocents. Same thing in the eyes of the law. Then the law's broken. Maggie stands now, rifle ready. And broken things need fixing. The standoff stretches between them like a taut wire. 4 armed men against 1 woman with a rifle and the weight of dead daughters on her shoulders. This isn't over, Wesley says. No, Maggie agrees. It ain't. The courthouse feels smaller with 12 men crammed inside. Judge Morrison sits behind his desk, papers scattered like fallen leaves. Noah stands in the center of the room, Ben and Jimmy flanking him. Maggie watches from the back, hands clenched. Son, tell us what happened that night, Morrison says. Noah's voice comes out thin as wire. Papa was drinking. Sophia was crying because she was hungry. Children cry, Frank's lawyer interrupts. That's natural. Let the boy speak. Morrison waves him quiet. She asked for bread. Just bread? Noah's hands shake. Papa said we didn't have none. Said she needed to learn about going without. The men shift in their chairs, uncomfortable. They came here expecting legal formalities, not truth. Then what happened? Sophia kept crying. Papa told her to hush. She tried, but she couldn't stop. Noah's voice cracks. She was just little. Reverend Hayes clears his throat. Sometimes discipline requires a firm hand. This wasn't discipline. Noah looks directly at the Reverend. Sophia asked Papa why he was so angry. Asked what she did wrong. Silence fills the room like smoke from a house fire. Heavy and choking, what did your father say? Morrison asks. Said girls were nothing but trouble. Said God made a mistake giving him a daughter. Noah wipes his eyes with his sleeve. Then he got his gun. Boy could be lying, someone mutters from the back. I ain't lying. Noah's voice grows stronger. Sophia said she was sorry. Said she'd be good. Said she'd never cry again if Papa would just put the gun down. The truth hangs between them, impossible to ignore. Every man in that room has a daughter, a sister, a mother. Every man knows what they're choosing to protect. That's enough, Frank's lawyer stands. This child is clearly traumatized. His testimony is unreliable. She asked why he was angry, Noah repeats, louder now. Right before he pulled the trigger. She just wanted to know why. Judge Morrison removes his glasses, cleans them slowly. The other men study their hands, the floor, anything but Noah's face. Court's in recess, Morrison finally says, but the truth stays in that room, burning like a fire nobody wants to put out. Frank Brennan comes alone this time. No sheriff, no governor, no lawyers. Just him and his rage, walking up Maggie's dirt road at sunset. I want my boys. Maggie sits on her porch steps, no rifle this time. Just her and the truth she's been carrying for 20 years. Frank, they belong to me. Like Sophia belonged to you? Sophia was weak. Boys are different. Maggie stands slowly. Like Anna was different? Frank stops walking. Something flickers in his eyes. Recognition, fear. You remember Anna, don't you, Frank? I don't know what you're talking about. Course you do. Sweet little girl, 7 years old. Used to chase butterflies in my yard. Frank's face goes white. That was different, was it? Maggie walks toward him, each step deliberate. You came here 20 years ago, drunk and angry. Said I was raising her wrong. Said she needed a man's discipline. She was getting out of line. She was 7, Frank, same as Sophia. It was an accident, just like Sophia was an accident. Maggie stops 3 feet from him. How many accidents are you planning to have? Frank's hands shake. You can't prove anything. Don't need to prove anything. Maggie points toward the old oak tree behind the house. See that grave marker? Been there 20 years. Anna Crow, loving daughter. Killed by a man who thought daughters were disposable. Frank follows her gaze and sees the small stone cross for the first time. The boys know about Anna. Know about Sophia. Know exactly what kind of man you are. I'm their father. You're a killer. Maggie's voice is steady as stone. You kill little girls because they remind you that you're weak, that you're nothing. Frank collapses to his knees, the weight of 2 dead daughters finally breaking him. I didn't mean to. I just got so angry. I know. Maggie looks down at him with something that might be pity. But angry doesn't excuse murder. Frank Brennan cries in the dirt, finally seeing himself clearly. A man who destroys the very thing he was supposed to protect. Spring comes to the ranch, like a quiet promise. Noah kneels in the dirt behind Maggie's house, digging holes with his bare hands. Ben and Jimmy help, their small fingers dark with soil. Right here, Noah says, pointing to a patch of earth near the fence. This is where we'll put Sophia's flowers. Maggie watches from the porch, a packet of sunflower seeds in her weathered hands. You sure about this spot? Sophia would have liked it. Gets sun all day. Good thinking. Maggie joins them in the dirt, her knees creaking as she kneels. Growing things is how we honor the dead. Show them life keeps going despite the destroyers. Noah takes the seeds, holds them like tiny promises. Sophia loved sunflowers. Said they looked happy. Why sunflowers? Ben asks. 'Cause they follow the sun all day. Always looking for something brighter. Jimmy presses seeds into the ground with his thumb. Think she'll see them. She sees everything, Noah says, covering the seeds with soil. Anna too. Maggie nods, thinking of her own daughter's grave beneath the oak tree. 20 years of tending that sacred ground, and now these boys understand what she's learned. That memory lives in growing things, in the choice to plant instead of destroy. How long till they bloom? Ben wipes dirt on his shirt. A few months. But they'll be worth waiting for. Noah pats the earth gently as a prayer. Sophia always said sunflowers looked like they were smiling. Then we'll have a yard full of smiles come summer. The boys stand, brushing dirt from their knees. Behind them, Anna's grave keeps its quiet watch, while Sophia's spirit settles into new ground, finally safe to grow.